is important in that process. Then she goes on, we must agree to think health and to bless the body and express that which causes all the functions of the organism to work perfectly. But, important word, but, she says there is a physical side of health. So, we must agree to think health and bless the body, and we must agree to think health, bless and express that which causes all fun. But there is a physical side of health. Also, the spirit must have substance, which in order to manifest. So, anybody here understand that the better the materials you use in building a building, the better the building is? So, what kind of material are we putting into the body temple in order to create the physical manifestation that spirit needs? Now, we know through the work of Bruce Lipton and the idea of epigenetics, that our thinking does control the DNA and controls our health. However, there has to be a substance that's valuable or strong enough to help us build the body temple, which makes sense to me. So it goes on, she goes on and says, spirit must have substance for which to manifest. You must provide the substance and life elements in proper food and drink and sunshine and air, etc. And without these, spirit would have no vehicle, and these are drawn in from the outside. So these things are outside of the body, and we know this, all of our spiritual world, actually the world is within, and we created out there, but the raw material has to be there in order to create a strong body. Make sense? So, for me, what it did was it said, okay, what am I putting in my mouth? And what am I putting in my brain? And it's all a combination. Now, you know, a lot of times I have mentioned that there were times things I drank weren't the best for me. There's a preservative in the form of alcohol, yes? Okay. And what is the food that I eat? Okay. And all I'm asking us to do is take a look at what do we hold holy? Kingdom of heaven is within. And one of the things I like going back to all the time is, who are you? What are you? Okay? And, you know, how did you get here? What is the body that we have created around us? What is it? Where did it come from? Okay, in a way, if you stop and think about that, we're a speck of energy floating around in the universe, and this body was created to handle that speck of energy, that speck of spirit, which is floating in there, and it grounds us in this physical body, which we know now has been created by our thinking. It's a very, very interesting conversation. So, the nature of humankind, and this is what I wanted to read. This is all simple, basic unity. And I know it's right here. The nature of humankind. By the way, we have a number of these. Unity, a positive path for spiritual living. And there's please read these things. I go back, oh yeah, I forgot that. And this is, what is unity? And it's simple. You ready? The nature of humankind. Now, who is humankind? That's us. I'll use the term usins. Okay? So the nature of humankind, we are each individual eternal expressions of God. I'm going to say that again. We are each one of us, each individual sitting here, is an individual eternal, which means you're not going anywhere, or your consciousness is here eternally. And then our essential nature is divine and therefore inherently good. So each one of us is divinity in its expression. And if we really believe that, how would we act out life? What would we say to our neighbors? What would we say to our spouses? What would we say to our family? And there's some people, family, that I'd rather not talk to because it's easier, if you're familiar with that. Okay? Because we call it practical Christianity. See, so many people get out in the clouds, and we need to come down here and look at where we are, and are we functioning and really doing and bringing the Spirit of Christ into the world? Okay? And it says, our purpose is to express our divine potential as realized and demonstrated by Jesus. Okay, now let me go over here. This is Unity's description of Jesus. We believe that Jesus expressed his divine potential and sought to show humankind how to express ours as well. So Jesus was a master person, let's say, who came to show us how to live life and how to express that divinity that we are. We see Jesus as a master teacher of universal truths and as our way shower. We use the term Christ to mean divinity in its humankind. So that in each one of us is the Christ, and we call Jesus the Christ because he manifested the Christ, which is our potential. So if we really believe that, how would we treat ourselves? See, if I really believed that this was the temple of God, I'd get up off my tail end and exercise every morning. At least that's what I'm told, yes? As you can tell, I don't do that. I did jump on a trampoline this morning, okay? And I get 2 stars for that. But do you see, we really don't, I believe, don't get who we are, okay? And it goes on, and there's more here, okay? It says, realize the difference by Jesus, ready, and other master teachers, which means there have been other master teachers in our environment, and we honor all paths to God. So all it means is each one of us has the potential to be a master teacher or to express the divinity that we are, okay? Then it goes on and says, the more we awaken to our divine nature, the more fully God expresses in and through us. So as we awaken, as we do the meditation, the way Terry and Donald and others have done, and Larry, by the way, when he comes back, is going to do a singing meditation for us in the coming weeks. And he might even do a chant for us. So, see, there's many ways, but the point to it is, do it. See, I have a tendency to talk about it. A lot of us have a tendency to talk about it, but it doesn't work unless you do it, okay? So, it is our job to manifest the Christ. And the body temple, or self-care, taking care of self, provides a channel that's healthy enough to express the Christ into the world. Okay? It's fascinating to me that, and I watch, again, what do we say to ourselves? I shouldn't even bring this up, but I've reached a point in life where I hear a lot of people talking about how old they are. Okay? And when that conversation comes up, what are we creating? See, if I talk about old age, what do I create? Old age. Yeah, see, and if I have a sickness and I dwell on the sickness, okay, I continue to live with the sickness. So the idea behind it is to bless the body, to appreciate the body, no matter what it is. And when we look in the mirror, hi, beautiful, okay? You are a divine expression of the Christ. And in the mirror, that's who you're looking at, is that in this body's form. So there's an acceptance of body, okay, that says, okay, I'm okay. Anybody familiar with Verl? I haven't heard about him for years. But he used to go around teach, and he put big seminars together, and his whole idea was using the term, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. So when I look in the mirror, it's okay, it's okay, okay? My hair is wonderful, and it's growing back in.
Mm-hmm. What's the name of the guy?
Verl Minto, M-I-N-T-O. M-I-N-T-O, Verl Minto. He used to be and again, that age thing I was talking about, he was around maybe 20, 30 years ago. But anyway, the idea behind it is what we speak about is what we create, which is what we covered last week. And one of the basics is learning to be the Christ. Because if I really believe that this body is the temple, will I take care of it? Sure. Okay? Now, certain things, and I'm not saying what to eat. Everybody there? And I'm not saying what to exercise, and I'm not saying what's right. I'm saying you'll be led by your spirit within to do that when you let go and start realizing that Christ is who you are. We get internal direction. It occurs all the time. And the problem is, for me anyway, is I have a tendency to go, oh, okay, that sounds nice, but then not doing anything with it. Or ignoring it. Anybody familiar with ignoring? Mm-hmm. So, again, we're back to the idea, I am a child of God, you are a child of God. We are divinity expressing itself. We are really bringing in more and more things. We are a church community, a spiritual community that is on a spiritual path toward enlightenment. Everybody there? If you look at our mission statement, which is right here on the front part of the bulletin, our mission is we are a vibrant spiritual community. Now, if we're vibrant, what does that mean?
Healthy.
Healthy. Okay? Now, not full of energy, vibrant. Okay? A community empowering personal transformation. And transformation occurs how? Through the spiritual path, being consistent with it, being dedicated to it, and doing the work. And then it says, and modeling the Christ consciousness. And in today's world, modeling the Christ consciousness is a challenge, given our wonderful TV and what it tells me about the political situations, and I'm not going to go into that. Okay? Thank you. Okay? I did want to do a little bit more here. Murder Fillmore. And again, I encourage you, this book is completely available. And if you can't find it, we'll make sure somebody orders it for you. But the results we get from the full free use of life and substance are determined by our beliefs and our habits. Okay? Now, one of the interesting things we know at the subconscious level, we have been programmed since childhood. Again, scientists tell us usually by the age of 3 or 4, we're pretty well determined what life is going to be like. So our lifelong conversation then is changing those beliefs we picked up, if they're not productive, and reaching a point where we remember who we are as a child of God. Okay, so I'll say it again. The results we get from the full free use of life. So anybody, life is free? Yes? I mean, we're here. Look around you. Pretty healthy group, yes? Okay, and we are here to express the Christ. And in doing that, we affect others. We talked last week about the mirror neurons, where our brains are putting out energy, and everybody has neurons in their brains that mirror your thoughts and give them back. Isn't that fun? So if I'm mirroring love and appreciation and taking care of body, what kind of things do I get back? Appreciation, love, and taking care of body. If I'm denying my body or complaining about it or looking in the mirror and saying, oh, there it is again, okay, the mirror thoughts are bringing that back. It's like the piece of property down the road. We looked at it yesterday, and the property to the north, they're bulldozing. So now there's bulldozing to the west and there's bulldozing to the north, which means it's time for us to start bulldozing. Yes. And what's the issue? The issue is the resources to do that. So we can let Randy go and let him and Tommy and Pat do their work. Okay? And guess what? If we believe that the money is there, the money comes. Because the money's out there coming, it's actually in here with us radiating it. Okay, is that right, Randy?
Yes.
Huh?
Reach up and grab.
Reach up and grab it, yes. So anyway, I had to get off on that for a few moments.
Here.
Okay, and then, by the way, if anybody chooses to look, the renderings are on the back table, please. Okay? Now, I have an interesting piece here. Divinely ordered. This is about a lady by the name of Eileen Caddy. And Alisa, Spirit of the Wind, shared this with us. She was in the Findorn community, what, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
A month and a half or so.
Month and a half, I lose track of time. But she brought this back and she gifted it to Mandan and I. And those of you who don't know about Findorn, Findorn is a wonderful community on the northern edge of Scotland. And a group of people got together and started a community there based around agriculture. And that area is really not a very good place to grow vegetables. My understanding is the soil has been depleted, it's old and worn out. And this group of people, taking the ideas, the spiritual ideas that God is everywhere present, they created a community and they grew some of the biggest vegetables that have ever existed in history. Cabbages like this. Okay, do they still do it that big?
No.
Yeah.
They've been listening to the plants, and the plants were like, we don't want to grow that big. We wanted to show you it's possible, but we don't want to do that.
So the beginning really, those pictures are huge, huge. Okay, And did you hear what she said? They were listening to the plants. Okay? So, again, developing the spiritual awareness of what's going on around us, the energies that are around us, because we're being told all the time. Most of the reason we don't hear is we're not ready to hear. So it's up to us to slow down, become quiet, do the meditation, and be in the presence of spirit. But I wanted to share some of that. And remember, this is and what's interesting is there's been a lot of communities created around the world, and not all of them have been in existence. I mean, they kind of petered out. But that one is still going strongly, and it's a spiritual community. And this woman, Eileen Caddy, I wanted to share with you some of the words. She said here, remember always, let your faith and confidence be in me, with a capital N. That's the spirit within. Okay? The divinity within you. Walk hand in hand with me, with the divinity within me. Okay? At all times, and let me guide and direct you. I am within you. I'll say it again. I am within you. So again, we're right back to the body temple, honoring it, pleasing it. You know, pleasure is part of the game, but also taking care of it. Okay? I just realized we're having an ice cream social. Anyway,
Hey,
what?
That's pleasing.
That's pleasing, yeah, that is.
Wait a minute, God loves ice cream.
What a lot of you don't know is I used to run an ice cream plant, and we had to taste every line every day.
That's terrible.
That's why I started this whole thing at 250, and I did lose 80, 90 pounds. But anyway, so let me guide you and direct you. I am within you, therefore nothing from without can interfere, including ice cream. With our direct contact, feel safe and secure in this knowledge. I'd like to underline that for you. Feel safe and secure. And I'm going to add, no matter what's going on around you. It's like I know that church will be built. And I know each one of us is protected and guided, and that we are safe and secure where we are. And the world out there right now doesn't want you to know that.
Right.
Okay? The ego keeps stirring up this huge storm of problems, and when we get hooked into it, we're there, and we become part of the issue. The issue is here. I and the Father are one. All there is the Father and I. So I and the Father are one, the Father and I are one, and I am a child of God, complete and whole, just as I am right now. Of course, the miracles say, I am as God made me. I am not a body, I am as God made me. Okay, so that's who we are. And then there's another one. I am within you, accept with joy and wonderment our oneness. Accept it as a very small child. Anybody ever watched the little children run around? And I don't know where they get their energy from, but it's got to be an energy that's there as divinity. Okay? They laugh, they play, they cry, they do all kinds of things. But did you ever notice once they get upset, 2 seconds later they're out happy again? Okay? So, and do not waste time and energy trying to work it out within your mind. Anybody familiar with the analytical mind?
Oh, yeah.
Been working on that one for years. Because I got to figure it out. I got to know. I got to read the next book is going to give me the answer. I'm going to go to the next seminar, and that person will have the answer. And that's been a lifelong look. And it isn't out there. It's already within us. And if you try to approach this life intellectually, you waste much time and fail to see the simplicity of life. Really fascinating. And thank you for this, Elisa. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. By the way, we should do one more just for kicks. It's a little bit on the negative side, but I think it's for me. It is not necessary to wear sackcloth and ashes or to go around declaring that you are a miserable sinner. And are not worthy to be called my beloved child. Anybody agree with that? I kind of remember that from my childhood religion. All this teaching is false and unreal, except that we are one and that I am within you and I'm going to add, I and the Father are one. Okay?
Always.
And so it is. I did want to bring back the Course in Miracles and just share with you. You know, really, the Course in Miracles is clear, saying that I am not a body. You are not a body. I am as God made me, which means within you is the spirit that you really are. And that's the image of God. That thinking thing that's within you, that's who you are. Okay? However, we have created this body that we live in as a vehicle for that spark of spirit. It's like, you know, you drive a car, and they agree that's what, 2 tons of heavy stuff with all kinds of, but here you are at the wheel, okay, and you're guiding that thing. Isn't it amazing where we go? Okay, but that's what it's like. This body is spirit-led, but the body needs to be taken care of. Again, just like a car. So this week, I'm going to ask you to join me. I'm not sure what I'm going to commit to. But I am bouncing on the trampoline, and I have changed my diet. I'm doing better. We had a physical 2 weeks ago, and okay. And I do know that I and the Father are one. And I know in that process of returning to the Father, I have to take this body and make it more capable of expressing to you. So would you join me in that conversation? And this is yes, and this is no, and that's fine. I love you very much. Thank you.